Clemson has completed their spring game. I'm going to give you my thoughts and some analysis, as well as show you a couple of highlights. And I've got to start with Tristan Smith, the wide receiver transfer from Southeast Missouri State. He was phenomenal. He was kind of the star of the day. He went well over 100 yards receiving. And it wasn't just the stats, because, you got to take spring game stats with a grain of salt to some extent, but he looked the part, man. He was good. His first catch was a 30-yarder, and he reeled it in despite being pretty brutally interfered with on the play. The flag was thrown. It was declined because he had the strength to overcome it, high point the ball, and make the catch along the far sideline. Then he had another 25-yarder, and I don't remember if it was that one or the one after, but he was right along the sideline. I think it was a 25-yarder, and everyone around me was saying, "Oh, he was out." And then they showed the replay, and he snuck a foot in. So great awareness of where he was on the field, balance to be able to do that. And then he stuck a 72-yarder where he was in traffic, but he's 6'5". He could jump, he could time it, and he high pointed the ball. And he beat the DBs, and then he sort of did a little, kind of twirl around, got himself free, and ran it all the way. And it's worth noting that, Jaden Lucas was out, Ashton Hampton was out, but he pretty consistently won the matchups where, he got a chance to get targeted. He also ran a dig route over the middle, showed he could do that too. He was awesome. He was to me the star of the day. It really showed he's big and uses the size. He's got good hands. He's got good field awareness. So I think, the first three starters were all on the green no tackle jerseys, so you couldn't tell as much about them. But they all look fine. I mean, they looked really, really fast. They were getting open. They were beating the DBs to some extent as well. Obviously, it's harder to break out big runs when all they have to do is touch you. But I thought they looked great as well. Another guy worth mentioning is Cole Turner. He had a really impressive kind of jump ball catch where he basically just beat Corian Gibson. It was one-on-one, and he won the play. So kudos to Cole Turner there. Deserves a shout out. So that's five guys at wide receiver I've already mentioned. Then Green was back and healthy. He didn't really make a big play or anything, at least not that I noticed. But to have those six guys as your top six wide receivers, that's a heck of a group, one of the best in the country. So the Smith transfer gives him just crazy depth. I think he could have a big year. And by big year, I mean there might be three guys ahead of him if they stay healthy that all go over maybe 600-700 yards. But if he could have 500 or be that depth, if someone has to miss a game and the group doesn't miss a beat, I think he adds that element. I think he's really good. I think that's a strong add there. Now, as much as I'm kind of saying how the wide receivers won their matchups, there was one cornerback who stood out, and that's Brandon Strozer, redshirt sophomore. He had this great play on Bryant Wesco. He's the cornerback receiver matchup on the outside, closest to the video, closest to the camera. So keep an eye on him, and I'll play our first highlight.
3, 2, 1. Uh-oh. All right, what do you want to say?
It almost looks like it's completed there, but it's not. It's broken up by Strozer. He looked really good, so that's a positive for that group, despite overall I thought the wide receivers had the better day. The guy I wanted to keep an eye on more than really anyone was quarterback Christopher Vizina. He's played in 2 spring games and looked really bad, throwing a pair of picks in each of them. Prior, this will be his redshirt sophomore year, so his third year, and so it was his third spring game. He looked much more in control. It seems like the game has slowed down for him. And I thought he made several plays that, to me, were really encouraging. Clemson needs him to be their primary backup. If Klubnik is to miss a game or, heaven forbid, miss several games, he's going to have to keep things afloat. And if he looked like he did in prior years, that'd be a huge problem. I was relieved to see he looked much better. And then also 2026, is he the quarterback of the future? Another bad performance would kind of make me question that. Again, he looked great. There was a 10-yard run that was really, him running sideline to, horizontally a lot to get away from folks. And keep in mind, he's in a no tackle jersey, right? So he really has to, a run is harder for him than it would be in a real game. And look at his athleticism here. I'll show this highlight. You'll also see him scramble on another play after that, like a designed run. He gets touchdown, but you can kind of still see his athleticism. And then lastly, a great pass over the middle to Sapp, the tight end. looking sharp. Overall, good stuff from Vizino. Let's play this highlight now. So you can see on that second clip, even though he was touchdown on the fake toss and run left, that might be a touchdown in a real game. I mean, I thought he looked really athletic and didn't look flustered, didn't look like it was all going too fast for him. So it was really encouraging. A guy that I didn't necessarily or wasn't really looking for, but he stood out to me was true freshman Chris Denson, another quarterback. He was a 3-star from Plant City, Tampa, Florida area. He had previously committed to Coastal before decommitting and committing to Clemson. Now, because of that kind of pedigree, I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of him, particularly not immediately, but even long-term, I kind of have my doubts. And I've kind of changed my opinion after watching a bit in this one. He looked poised, mature, smart decisions. He had a 31-yard wheel route to true freshman running back Gideon Davison that was really pretty. And he just had several plays that were, even if they were checkdowns, they were not what you would expect from a true freshman. And then he had one play where he finally was able to get out of the pocket and run, which is hard to do when you're in your kind of no contact jersey. And he is blazing fast. So really impressive day for him. Kind of changed my opinion there. Impressed to see that. The next guy I want to talk about is David Iziomume. Adam Randall was the guy I was trying to keep an eye on, but I guess he cemented himself in that first team offense so much that they wanted to give more reps to the other guys. And Iziomume seemed like he was getting the most carries out of anyone. He was a track star at North Cobb. I liked him as a recruit. Was kind of surprised he even redshirted last year. Thought he might contribute even sooner. But he's a redshirt freshman now. And he's a track star, so he's fast. I didn't know he was this strong. First two, really all three of them, but especially the first two, especially the second highlight I'm going to show you. He just moves the pile, really showing his strength, and it kind of refuses to go down. And then on the third run, I'll show you, he shows a little bit of strength, kind of breaking an arm tackle, and then a shiftiness. He gets by Hannafin because he basically jukes him and gets right by him. And then Drew Woodaz is trying to track him down and just can't because Iziomume is so fast. So let me show you these highlights here. I'll show all three in a row. You can see that juke on that last one was pretty nasty and just left Hannafin kind of running off the wrong direction. And then the diving shoestring tackle comes up short because of his speed. So look, I don't know if he's figured out, pass protection yet. That's certainly, we're not going to find that out in a spring game, especially with no contact jerseys on and everything. But as far as having good options to run the ball, I think Clemson is fine between Adam Randall, who they're already comfortable as the first team guy, Iziomume, Gideon Davidson, who had a couple plays, especially as a receiver. I think they've got fine options to move the ball. If they can get decent pass protection, this running back group honestly looks fine to me. I'm really not concerned about it. And again, this is a spot where Clemson could have taken a transfer. And this is where that balance, I think Clemson now finally, after years of me complaining about it, is finally striking the balance between we have a gaping hole in the roster, we got to get a transfer, or we have some unknowns, but we trust this player who's been with the program. At defensive end, they didn't have anyone. So they went out and got Will Helt. And I think that's a huge upgrade. At running back, they had some options. Or they have a redshirt freshman in Iziomume. They have true freshman Gideon Davidson. They have a senior who they're moving positions in Adam Randall. So they have a couple options. They don't have to go outside. And that's the balance. You don't want to always go outside, but you don't want to shun that as an option when you really don't have good options. In-house, like defensive end. You don't want to have to start the same guys you did last year. So good balance there. Love to see that. I'm pretty optimistic about the running backs. And then last thing, Braden Jacobs got a ton of snaps at left tackle because Tristan Lee was out for the spring game. And I thought, I didn't kind of keep my eye on him the whole time, but several times I did. I thought Braden Jacobs looked ready, for a lack of a better term. He's a true freshman out of Georgia, son of Brandon Jacobs, the Giants power running back from years ago. and he looked great, man. He looked really sharp, held up well, and they don't need him to start now or even play a whole lot. If guys stay healthy, hopefully not. Hopefully he doesn't have to play a lot, but you got to think with Blake Miller leaving, with Tristan Lee leaving after the season. All right, you got Jacobs, you got Elijah Thurman when he gets healthy next year. So 2026, you're going to lose a lot, but I feel good that Coach Matt Luke is coaching them. They've got the talent, they got the coaching. The offensive line in 2026 doesn't have to be terrible, right? It could actually be pretty good. So encouraging to see that from Braden Jacobs. So anyway, thanks for watching this. Let me know your thoughts if you were there, if you saw it live. Definitely share your thoughts on what you picked up from being there. If you weren't there and have other questions, hop in the comments. Let me know your questions. Hope you enjoyed seeing some highlights. I know they were grainy. They were just from my phone, so I hope it was still useful to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks to the over 1,000 people who've already subscribed. It means a lot. Really appreciate it. So thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.